Welcome again to my show. Okay, it's not a show, but to my video log. My name is Uhfgood, and I'm building an adventure game. And I was going to use Armory, uh, but their navigation mesh creation function is broken, and um, I decided to kind of postpone looking into Armory until maybe it was fixed. Maybe, perhaps, I should look into um, pathfinding is important in adventure games because you do a lot of walking. You click somewhere and it moves there. But I may be able to do some basic stuff. Who knows? But then I started looking at other engines, just at least for a while until the next Armory version came out. So I went with Godot, and Godot, I'm sure I could get it doing what I want later, but after trying to play around with doing a little bit more complex thing as far as scenes and stuff goes, and it wasn't working out, and I didn't really know what was wrong with that. Actually, spending a lot more time on Godot, and, unless I was going to actually convert to the Godot engine. Um, I figured that maybe I should look into Unity next and maybe Unreal Engine. So the next time I'm going to go ahead and go through a few Unity tutorials, and then I'll try to make some sample levels with that, and we'll see if that works. And if it doesn't work out, then I'll try Unreal Engine, and if that doesn't work out, then I'll go back and either Armory 0.7 will be out and the thing will be fixed, or I will have to figure out my own pathfinding type of things, program it myself, I guess. And considering that I'm not too worried about the finished, I'm more worried about developing it. It shouldn't be a big deal if it takes me a long time to figure that out. It's probably good to learn anyways if I ever want to do anything, you know, complicated with math or something. But anyways, now we're going to go back to this, and this is the wiki book, Blender 3D Noob to Pro, and it's talking about how you can contribute to the book. You're strongly encouraged, read begged, to contribute to this book. There are many things you can do to help edit existing modules, to correct errors, improve the writing, or make additions. Add new modules, tutorials, or reference material. Upload new images, make screenshots or sample renders. Join the team responsible for this wiki book. And it's very possible that once I get going on it, maybe I could start helping to update it to 2.8. Maybe. It's just a maybe because, I still have a game to do, and this might be extra to do. But it might be a good learning experience, so I don't know. Never say never, right? Okay, so how to edit a module. To edit any wiki page, including this one, click on the Edit tab at the top of the page, make your change in the large text box, type an explanation for your change in the Edit Summary text box below. Click on the Show Preview button below the Edit Summary to preview your change. If you're satisfied with the result, click on the Save Page button. Your contribution will be reviewed before it's officially published. Things you shouldn't add to modules. External links that are not directly related to the module, comments or questions regarding the text. To ask questions and make comments about any module, click on the discussion tab at the top of the page. This will take you to the corresponding talk page. The talk page name begins with the talk prefix. If the topic of your question or comment is under discussion, edit the relevant section. If it's a new topic, click on the Add Topic tab at the top of the talk page to start a new discussion. Sign your message by typing tildes at the end. This will expand to your username and the date. Remember to save your edit when you're done. Return the wiki book. Click on the book tab at the top of the talk page. See how to add a module. Edit the table of contents. Creating a tutorial unsure where it belongs. Put it in miscellaneous. After saving your edit, follow the red link to create the module and begin adding content to it. To make it easy to read the book in sequence, each module should have the navigation links to the previous module and the next module. Provide these links by preview your work. If you provided they resist. If you don't provide navigation links, please ask someone to insert your new module in appropriate place. One way to do this would be create. Okay. Images are a vital part of Blender tutorials. They clarify the image's copyright is not attributed correctly. We must remove it. This will make a once great tutorial useless. Even if you believe you know what copyright to use, please check the proper Blender images copyright page to see how and where you should add the copyright information. Make sure every image you use is not copyrighted or that you have permission to use it. And I guess, I don't know, if you want to join our team, go to the team page. Okay, so really not relevant exactly, but I just kind of went over it because it's there right now, and I'm going to attempt to look at this and see if we can't go through this. Okay, so table of contents, Unit 1 background, know before making. Start here, what Blender can do. Section 1A, 3D concepts, 3D geometry, coordinate transformations, orthographic views, perspective views, coordinate spaces in Blender. Section 1B, user interface, UI, overview, keystroke button, and menu notations, non-standard input devices, operating system specific issues, Blender user interface, Blender windowing system, user preferences, windows, properties window, 3D view windows, object mode. Now the windowing system is going to be a little bit different because I think they've kind of changed how they do the windowing system as well. It's not just that it looks different or has different like keys and stuff, but it's quite a bit different. So might have to search around and look and see if there's some way we can, you know, translate, you might say. So if it says you can add more windows by clicking here and dragging here, then we'll have to look it up and see how to do it in 2.8. I think this will, trying to translate it will actually help me in learning Blender 2.8 better. So I think it'll be a good thing here. Unit 2 basic modeling and shading. Section 2A, your first mesh to models, meshes in edit mode, normals and shading, more mesh editing techniques, quickie lighting, quickie model, quickie render, enter the world, understand the camera, improving your house. Section 2B, smooth meshes, simple person with a hat, extruding a simple person, smoothing your simple person, improving your simple person, spinning a simple hat, putting the hat on the person. Section 2C, materials and textures, overview, quickie material, multiple materials per object, metal versus plastic, texture settings, image textures, procedural textures, quickie texture, halo materials. Okay, beyond basics, Blender memory management, using bones, mountains out of molehills, modeling a volcano, penguins from spheres, dicing with depth, dice modeling, model a goblet, model a silver goblet, another way, spin a goblet, light a silver goblet, early look at lighting. Simple vehicle wheel tutorial 1, simple vehicle wheel tutorial 2, simple vehicle seat, simple vehicle rocket launcher, simple vehicle another shooting machine, simple vehicle body, simple vehicle some assembly required. Modeling a 3D parachute in Blender, model a low poly head, building a house, pipe joints, lighting Suzanne, introductory one lamp lighting, curve and path modeling, overview, intro to Bezier curves. I don't even pronounce that, but Bezier is what I would pronounce it. Beveling a curve, NURBS patches, deforming meshes using the curve modifier, the empty object using reference photos, background images, which we can do, at least I can do in my version of 2.8 beta. Aligning vertices with guide image, modeling a wolf from guide images, using Bezier curve to model a 3D logo from a 2D logo, further materials and textures, subsurface scattering, ray tracing, using textures, using texture to make material partially transparent, creating basic seawater, mountains out of molehills 2, basic carpet texture, the rusty ball, creating a Pixar looking eyes, procedural eyeball, putting it together all together a dragon. This will actually be pretty good, especially if I can translate it from 2.5 plus to 2.80 beta. Should be really good for learning. Unit 3, broadening horizons, the UV image editor, UV maps, spacing photos to 3D surfaces, UV map basics, realistic eyes in Blender, lighting, beginning lighting, understanding real lights, understanding Blender lights, basic lighting rigs, fake global illumination, Blender internal, practicing good parenting, basic animation, overview, introduction to keyframing, the ways of the animator, animation editors, introducing the graph editor, animation rendering, lattice modifier, bouncing ball with lattice, creating basic water animation, flying through a canyon, using sequencer to compile frames into an animation, further rendering options, particle systems, overview, fire, fur, fireworks, particles forming shapes, billboard animation, soft body animation, soft simple cloth animation, soft body with wind, Blender Game Engine basics. Now, this, I won't be able to get into Blender Game Engine unless I have like 2.79 or before, which I could do. In fact, I can get the standalone version to download, and I could possibly do that. Or I could attempt to do this with Armory, which is possible, except for it might not have everything that Armory might not have everything that Blender Game Engine had. So we'll have to look into it. It might work. We might have to skip that. I'm not sure. Blender Game Engine basics: rolling ball, platform controls of movement, maze, force, and multiple levels. Platformer, improving the physics, how to make it executable, build a skybox, build a mouse, basic mouse pointer, text and VGE. Platformer, creating the engine with Python. Taking off with advanced tutorials. Python scripting. Actually, let's close this. Python scripting. Introduction. Anatomy of an add-on. User interface for your add-on. Adding a custom property. Separately installable add-on. Object action settings. Advanced modeling. Overview. High dynamic range imaging. Creating a light probe. Landscape modeling with height maps, how to do procedural landscape modeling 1, basic terrain, landscape modeling 2, basic texture stenciling, landscape modeling 3, exporting as a height map, advanced materials and textures, bump mapping, normal mapping, texture normals, color map normals, nodes, introduction, texture nodes, material nodes, compositing, further compositing, a portal effect, advanced rendering, introduction to cycles, glass material and cycles, dealing with fireflies and cycles, fireflies and cycles continue, procedural eyeball and cycles, introduction to freestyle. I don't know what freestyle is. I don't think they have that anymore. And also we can look into Eevee, into using Eevee, although this isn't going to tell us how to use Eevee, which it would require a separate tutorials, I guess, on its own. Advanced animation overview, introduction, guided tour, armature object in object mode, in edit mode, in pose mode, mesh object, connection between armature and mesh, envelope, vertex groups and weight paint, shape keys, lip sync with shape keys, constraints, copy location, copy rotation, track 2, floor, lock track, follow path, stretch 2, IK solver, timeline window, graph editor, dope sheet, NLA editor, introduction to NLA editor. Dope sheet is a timing sheet for your animation. It goes all the way back to 2D animation. Working example, Bob, building the rig, deform the mesh, create a walk cycle. Working example, piston rod and crank. Working example, cutting through steel. Advanced game engine overview, game engine techniques, creating pop-up menus, creating drop menus, 5-layer button, creating object outlines. Advanced game engine techniques, Python. Creating a HUD, which is not there. Hacking Blender, introduction to the game engine source, which we will not be getting into. Reference material, glossary, frequently asked questions, tutorial links, hot lists, hotkeys, output formats, image portfolio, Blender glossary, materials directory, every material known to man, sources of free 3D models, all blueprints. A lot of these are going to be out of date, and so we'll see if we can even use it. Asking for help, for successful project modeling realistically, modeling tips, performance tips, making Blender run faster, keep the 3D performance versus quality, miscellaneous tutorials. This is our attic. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and stop here, and I will hit you up on the next tutorial for me in a few minutes, for you a few hours later or whatever. So thanks for watching, and join me for the next video.